that? Let's first get to Senator John Cornyn, who was inside today's hearing, had a chance to question Secretary Kennedy. So, Senator, how did that go?
Its finest hour. The Senate used to be called the world's greatest deliberative body, but you wouldn't have known that from the hearing today. A lot of shouting, talking over each other. What I was interested in is getting answers to a lot of questions about Secretary Kennedy's service as head of HHS, but that was hard to come by given all the back and forth.
So where do you believe all of this is ultimately going with vaccines, now with Florida scrapping its vaccine mandate? What do you think of that?
Well, my first question for Secretary Kennedy was, do you think COVID-19 was politicized? And of course, he answered yes and gave all the reasons why he held that opinion. But the truth is, the American people don't know what to believe because of the way the COVID-19 pandemic was treated in the world of politics. And one thing we must have learned, should have learned, is that politics and science don't mix. So various competing people claiming to have the science on their side are arguing one thing, and people on the other side are arguing something totally different. And public confidence has been shaken, and people don't know who to believe.
Yeah, in a similar message, but in a different way, that was shared by the former CDC director Susan Minares in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, where she said this: Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the CDC, and me. I served for 29 days as director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Senate confirmed me to ensure that unbiased evidence serves our nation's health, and for doing that, I lost my job. America's children could lose far more. Do you share any of the same fears in the decisions that are being made?
Well, I don't think that fear is a great way to operate. And unfortunately, a lot of the allegations being made against Secretary Kennedy are designed to provoke fear, which is inconsistent with rational discourse. And I'd prefer to get to the bottom of it. There's maybe a good faith argument that we overprescribe vaccines. I believe doctors should be able to consult with their patients and make good medical decisions based on the health condition of that individual, whether it's a child or it's an adult. But I'd certainly prefer that to the sort of mandates we saw during COVID-19 and just shutting down our country, keeping our kids out of school, and devastating our economy.
Senator, as we mentioned, there were several fiery exchanges in that room. This one with Senator Michael Bennet, the Democrat from Colorado, with RFK Jr. Watch this exchange. I'll get your reaction. Okay, we're going to tee that up for you in a second. He was obviously challenged on many of the decisions that he has made and his vax policies and the shakeup at the CDC. Among them were a challenge on what this one senator described as lies coming from RFK Jr. All right, here it is. Listen.
What I said was accurate. What you said were lies. You described people moving the Titanic.
Are you saying that the mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
No, I'm asking the questions here,
You're
Mr.
evading
Kennedy.
that question.
What was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, when they're talking over each other and accusing each other of lying, it's not good. I think there's a way to get to the truth and to get to the bottom of it. But ultimately, those who call for the Secretary's resignation or being critical, ultimately the President of the United States is the one who makes that decision. The Senate's job is to consider the President's nominations and to confirm them or not. But once confirmed, the Senate's role is basically accomplished. So it's really up to the President. If the President continues to have confidence in him, he'll continue to serve.
Okay, and I just want to finish up by saying he was also challenged by Senator Elizabeth Warren about vaccine availability. That has rendered a response from Walgreens, who has updated its statement on COVID vaccine access. Warren was challenging him in that room as to whether people can actually get access to these vaccines. Walgreens says this season's COVID vaccine has been approved for all adults ages 65 plus, and those under 65 with certain health conditions. Vaccine inventory will be arriving to our stores shortly. A lot more to dig into there, as we will. Senator, appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right.
Okay.